So I am here to have a really great conversation with Rajashree, who is someone who has also come from the Microsoft corporate organization, and so has that inside learning about how to develop a co-sell relationship. But Rajashree is also CEO of her own company, Affable BPM, and has some learnings as an entrepreneur, as a co-sell partner, and in how to take a co-sell relationship and really shape it into something that can also be of great value and service to your own business. So, Rajeshri, welcome.
Thank you so much, Karen, for having me here. Thank you, Chaitra and Women in Cloud and Go to Market Global Summit. Really appreciate to be here.
Yeah, so thank you. And thank you for being willing to share your experience because, as I said in my intro of you, you've got this unique background in having been a development executive for Microsoft with a collection of partners. So you were a part of that strategic alliance type of relationship from that hyperscaler insider perspective, but then have applied it as you've been out in the ecosystem in your own entrepreneurial pursuits and companies you've been associated with. So this is a really unique perspective that you're offering this community. So I want to recognize you for that and also thank you for that contribution.
Thank you.
And so let's talk about how you see co-sell relationships and with hyperscalers. And I'd love to see if we can tease out something that may not be so obvious to others. So love for you to speak on that.
Sure. Thank you so much, Karen. So as you mentioned, when I was at Microsoft being into the partner ecosystem, I used to manage the ISVs, high potential ISVs for Microsoft and help them to go to market faster by looking at their technology roadmap and all that. And when I came out and had my like a first company as a consulting services where I was like an outsider as a SI. And then when my company got acquired, and it was a great opportunity for me to scale that business as a co-sell business at Zorient, who acquired my company, and it was a successful exit for me, where I created this $60 million pipeline. More than 50% got recognized in less than 3 years, and it was quite a journey. When we heard Niti today, all the challenges what she has mentioned, those are all true. Now that I'm back into the startup mode, I'm facing different problems. Just because the ecosystem from internal and external does not mean that there is a red carpet for you and everything is like at your fingertips. No, it is just that okay, it's not going to be the easy journey, but are you ready to do that? Do you have conviction to really go with that journey? And I do have the conviction because I have done this multiple times. So that is definitely one advantage that I have. But at the same time, that does not reduce any of the efforts that I have to take as a founder and CEO of the startup.
Yes. Yes, exactly. The work did not get easier. But I do think that you are able to interpret the relationship yeah,
Absolutely.
maybe sort of and understand it, evaluate it
Yeah.
from a completely different levels so that I think there's a lot of benefit there as well. And that's also good, brings us to the way you see the engagement as a co-sell partner now that you're taking your company and developing those relationships with Microsoft in particular.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. When I started doing this, and my co-founder is a Linda Robertson who comes from the healthcare background. She's a subject matter expert onto how the healthcare works, where we are like automating their back end office because digital transformation hasn't happened in healthcare, which we are trying using AI and all that. Even though, as I mentioned, in this solution, we were very clear that how we are going to do the creation of that offer, which is sitting, of course, onto the Microsoft Azure. So, one thing is very important, as Dexter also mentioned, you should know what is going to be your product roadmap and you should know what is going to be your selling strategies. We knew that from the day one that our selling strategy is going to be majorly invested into doing the co-sell with Microsoft. Yes, because of the experience what we have, that doesn't mean we do not do the direct selling. We do, but then we bring it back into the Microsoft because that's the platform that we want to grow ourselves with, and we know that that is going to give us that leveraging points as we grow. more and more. So creation of offer was one of the biggest thing in the beginning of our startup. And then of course we have faced the challenges, and then there is that co-selling part, right? As I was mentioning, a part of our go to market and sales strategy. So these three factors were very important, how we crafted our business plan to work on it.
Yeah, so I just want to just relate it even back to what Dexter was saying. So the very first thing you talked about was a client profile in healthcare and specifically in clinic offices. So that is a client profile, a unique client profile that you first started with as you were crafting your offer. And this was especially important as you were developing your co-sell strategy with
Absolutely.
Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
That is the door that you were forging relationships with. And then I love what you said. It was pretty profound to me, which was equality in your product roadmap and your revenue and your channel
Mhm.
roadmap. Both of those are equal. And you came at it with that understanding in mind from the start. So
Promise.
that's also, I think, an important nuance here in how you see things in the COSO relationship and had those sort of being built and developed at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And as you are trying to set up your that ideal customer profile, the same way we set up our ideal partner profile, right?
Mm.
That part goes under the co-selling go-to-market strategies. For the ideal partner profile, saying that okay, healthcare of this size in the CEO office is our customer. There is not where it ends, because in that becomes your ideal company profile, but then you have to also create your ideal buyer profile, meaning that who the users are, who the decision makers are, the influencer and the sponsors, the people who are going to write the check. So generally it gets divided into 3 to 4 different personas, and you knowing your customer and how they navigate these deals is also very important, especially being into the healthcare, that industry being slow, it has its own sales cycle challenges. Knowing more the details, better it is for you. And same thing for the partners, right? When we are doing our co-sell as well as go to market, knowing which kind of partners we want to work with. Of course, Microsoft is a hyperscaler. They have a very strong healthcare as their vertical and priority, so that was very helpful. But then as we were like having other partners come along with us, where we want to go faster to our customer, that partner profile was also very important as a part of our go to market strategy.
Yes, absolutely. It also goes in parallel with how the certainly a company like Microsoft is adjusting its own go-to-market and programmatic structures because of the emphasis not only in these different solution plays that have different ways partners can connect together in delivery, but also industry. And so those start to become a lot more, kind of give more refinement to the unique go-to-market you can take and the unique co-sell strategy you can deploy. There are a couple of different sort of co-sell hyperscaler approaches. Can you talk a little bit about your journey in developing what you have now and where do you see opportunity going forward?
Definitely. Before that, I just wanted to reiterate the point what Dexter has mentioned, that having your solution onto the marketplace is one of the biggest prerequisites that you definitely want to make sure you check that off. For that, defining the pricing and all that comes along the way, where the go to market accelerator and what Chaitra was talking about in this morning is extremely important. We have used that framework in order to know where we stand and how we are going to go to this co-selling into the Microsoft ecosystem. So I love that framework. It is extremely useful. Now that the strategies where you are talking about how we have decided the hyperscaler approach, right? The product and then the selling. These are the two important parts of the business as you get into your startup. So we had the very clear choice as a Microsoft, that this is where we are going to have our solution deployed. Initially, we have our own, we procure the Azure, and there is where we do the solution. Now that in the co-sell motion, we started talking to the customers through Microsoft on this all these efforts. We realized that some of the customer wants the solution to be deployed in their Azure. So right now we are enhancing our licensing model and how we do the containerization when we deploy that product. So my point here, just to quickly mention that As you decide that this is your hyperscaler, and if you need to make some adjustment into your product deployment, you have to also consider those parts. And then the second piece was, in the beginning, yes, Microsoft is there to help a lot, but first you have to help yourself. You have to have your own homework to be done, as well as you need to know which customers are going to buy this. Is this a sellable product? Are people ready to pay for that? And all that. As a startup, that grunt does not go away. So you have to do that. And along with that, doing the co-selling with Microsoft has its lot of challenges as well as great benefits, risk versus rewards. So we also took the other approach of having the smaller partners who are closer to that customer where we really want to go, so that we can reduce the sales cycle, so that relationship is going to bring us closer to that audience. And we ended up setting up like a few smaller channels and then working through them to sell our solution to the same audience, because we had defined our audience and all that. Now what happens is, here is the best part, what I like about the Microsoft being that hyperscaler, the whole strategy is, when we bring these channels, the smaller channels that who we are selling through, we bring them back under the MPO, the multi-party offer, right? Which means that we are giving the amazing route to these channels who may or may not know how to work with Microsoft. But we just do the little hand holding, help them to create the partner center registration and all that, which is pretty simple. And then once they are registered, we put their partner ID while doing the MPO offers working with Microsoft. So when Microsoft pays us up for our transactable solution, the first whatever commission we decide that the channel is going to get it, they get paid, and then the remaining money Microsoft cut the 3% to pay to us, right? So that's the MPO type of the thing. So the point here is, yes, working with Microsoft needs a lot of expertise as well as front end, back end, like efforts to understand that ecosystem. The marketplace is definitely going to make this simplified for all of us, and I'm super excited about that. And then the third approach, when you have like other channels, still think again that how you tied back into the Microsoft ecosystem, so that you are putting all your ducks in the row for the strategy that you are doing with this hyperscaler. um, I am not claiming that we are perfect. We learn, we face challenges, and then we take every step at a time to make things happen.
Yeah, Nirajastri, that's such good insight to bring into this, because this is the true back end of how you can wire things together. And I love that you have this practice embedded in your channel strategy around creating value to your own channel relationship through providing that onboarding to marketplace and creating a relationship where you're going to market together, not on their own, especially when you're trying to engage with a pretty large, rapidly moving hyperscaler like
Yeah,
Microsoft.
yeah.
Yep,
Because the channels also get another advantage. If they know, that's great. If they don't know, they get the advantage, Karen, that now they can sell other products also, and they start earning the lot of benefits through the Microsoft
that's right.
ecosystem. So
That's right. Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Raj. Really appreciate your insights and your energy. And hopefully there's even some partners here today that there should be some partnerships with Affable BPM. So
thank you.
we'll
Thank you
give a
so
shout
much.
out for that.
And thank you, Karen, for being our advisor. A lot of things are there which wouldn't have been able to do. Thank you, Chaitra, for always being there to answer so many of the critical questions. Without the community and without having this access, no matter how much I know, this is not possible. So big thanks to all of you guys and big heart to all of you
Aw,
guys. Thank you.
thank you.
Perfect. First is fantastic, Karen, Raj, for really going deep dive into the challenges, right? The roadblockers, because it's great to get your listing on there. But when you hit that billing challenge, it's a real issue. And talking through that one, and collectively, when we work together, we probably will have a better answer together. But the goal is for you to drive transaction there. That's when you will be visible. And especially as a SMB company, having a brand, hyperscaler brand next to you, you will scale very quickly. Again, thank you to both of you.